all about. Getting to have fun, because life does get too serious sometimes. All right, so the first Sunday of every month, I'm joining with many of my colleagues, as you may recall, in this thing called The World That Works for Everyone. That's something that is our old organization, our overall organization, has put this idea of a world that works for everyone. So I'm joining in on that on the first Sunday of each month. The first Sunday was the one expresses through all of us, and then the next month was waking up to our spiritual magnificence. It's not something that most of us were taught. Waking up to our spiritual magnificence. I'm magnificent, you're magnificent. You know, a lot of times it's like, oh, no, I'm not even good enough, much less magnificent. So it's time to wake up to that. And today I'm taking us to the Indwelling Presence, personal and collective. For me, the indwelling presence is that thing I feel. When I get quiet, or when I have a moment of joy because of what Ross just did on the piano, or when Pat tickled me with what she just read, those moments of joy, those moments where you just feel something inside, those moments of love, those moments of lightness, that to me is when I say the indwelling presence that I feel. That's usually how I recognize it. It might be different for you, but some way that we know there's something within us that is greater than we've even experienced yet. The indwelling presence in myself and all creation is what I'm talking about today. And also a little bit of a continuation of using that superpower of our mind to make a world that works for everyone, to make a world that works for all people. So it's both personal and we're talking about the greater whole. I know of no better story to talk about the greater whole than this story. And this story can be found in many variations in Eastern philosophies. The story is about, in my case, four blind men who are arguing over something. And they're arguing who's wrong and who's right. And there was a wise sage who takes them to see an elephant. None of them have ever experienced an elephant before. And each man gets put near a different part of the elephant. One man, near the tail, says, oh, the elephant is like a rope. The wise man is asking each person to describe what the elephant is like. So his perception is it's a rope. Another man, oh no, an elephant is like a great pillar. He's grabbing onto the leg. Another man, right up against the elephant, says, no, it's like a wall. Because he's feeling the big side of the elephant. This is a wall. And still another one, up close to the ear, feeling the ear, says, no, this is a giant fan. Of course, they're all trying to argue about that too. Which one is right? Is it a rope? Is it a pillar? Is it a wall? Is it a fan? There's actually a couple more stories that keep going. And so one says, oh, this is like a tree branch because he's by the trunk. You get the idea. So the wise man that brought them to the elephant takes them back to the village and tells them, you are all partially right according to your own experience of the elephant. But an elephant is so much more than any one part that any of you experience. That story right there sets up everything I'm going to say today. Partially right, no matter where the man was touching the elephant. Everybody was correct, but they did not see the whole picture. They only had one piece of the picture. Are you with me? Can I stop?
I want to hear the rest.
You want to hear the rest. The rest just is going to elaborate on that, really, because that says so much. We can stop arguing over is it a rope or is it a wall or is it a leg. We can't stop arguing over which religion is most right. We can stop arguing over politicians. We can stop arguing over the economy. Can we? Can we?
Yes.
Harder to do sometimes than to say. Yes, I believe we can. But we have to each ask ourselves, can I? So here we are right now in the midst of political debates. Aren't they fun? Well, yes, they're fun. If you're watching them with Pat Sanchez, everything is fun. We're right in the middle of these debates, and no doubt, us in this very room have different opinions, much less our whole entire country's opinions about things. What I know for sure is adding my anger does not help. I can't tell you how many things have come across my Facebook. Oh, maybe you can, I can't tell you, because maybe you have it too. That is bashing one side or the other in the political arena, and I want to sometimes go, yeah, and I want to hit share and send it off to Facebook, and I think, no, because all that is cynical anger, and so I don't share those. Do I feel like it sometimes? I'm human, I feel like sharing them. But I don't. I hold back because I know that adding anger isn't going to help. Hopefully we will all vote when the time comes, and we will all vote how we feel this country will be best served. It doesn't matter whether we agree. We will all do what we think is right. But in the meantime, can we stop bashing the ones we don't agree with? Oh, everybody go. Can we stop bashing? Because that's what they're doing. And I watch it and I think, can you just tell me what you believe in without running the other person down? Can you stop bashing what you don't understand? Can you look and say, there's a bigger picture going on. I don't see the whole elephant. I only see my piece. My piece is partially right. So is yours. And so is yours. It's a really big deal, and I think that if I could shout this out to the rest of the world, some people would understand it and get it. But alas, that's not my job. We in this room can do it different. Let's us be the ones who don't bash, but understand that this person's perspective might be different, and I might not totally get it, but I don't have to run him or her down. It's the same God presence indwelling each person, even if they have a different perspective. That's where the rubber hits the road, in my opinion, in this kind of a philosophy. When we can say all these wonderful things, but when it bumps up against those kind of things, like, woo, that same God presence is in everyone, indwelling everyone. So here's another example. I received a magazine by accident. Not, but you know what I mean. Accident. Sent here to the church that was addressed for somebody else up the street. And it was Inc. magazine. It's a business magazine. And on the front, there was this question basically asking about the business model. And there was two different people, two schools of thought. One more old school that said the only reason to be in business is the profit for the customers and the shareholders. The other guy said, no, nowadays, a little bit younger, newer guy said, your business should not only make money, but it needs to have social responsibility. And so I thought I knew what I was going to agree with when I opened up. I thought, I'm going to read this because this came to me. This is a very interesting thing. And this is very much like the political debate. It's like it gets very polarized. It's this or it's this. And so I read the article. Both men had very good points. Now, you can guess which one I'm going to lean more toward just because of the work I do. However, I'm reading and I'm like, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And that makes a whole lot of sense. And that makes a whole lot of sense. That might be partly my Pisces nature. I understand both sides of the story pretty easily. But I'm like, well, these both make really good sense to me. I would like to give that little piece of me to other people. I'd like to say, here, world, have a little bit of this. Because these two men were also polarized, just like our political parties. Both of them had good things to say. Both of them had the idea of entrepreneurship for themselves, for the world, for creating jobs. They both had great ways to create jobs in the world. But it's the same point. Can we stop arguing? Can we understand that both of these people and both of their points of view are partially right? Neither of them are looking at the whole elephant. They're doing the best they can to describe what's in front of them and their own particular experience. I point those two out because they're kind of hot buttons in our world these days. What I ask myself is, can I practice this world that works for everyone?